get this started. The first failure, right? Oh, yeah. All right. I'm trying to turn down the volume as much as I can on the music. Yeah, probably need an audio board or something. All right, let's go. Let's go. Doing it live.
It's real.
It's real? Can you speak up a little bit more?
Yeah, it's super real.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, we're trying this first time. Here we go.
All in.
Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Overflow podcast. Man, this is gonna be fun, or this is gonna be disaster, or it's gonna be a fun disaster. I already started off bad. I actually closed the webcam window like a couple seconds ago, and I just reopened it. I'm like, oh my god. Oh man. How are you, Riley?
I'm doing pretty well. I got my coffee, so I'm doing extra well, actually.
You're drinking coffee this late?
Yeah. I'm a late night coffee drinker.
Okay. If that's your thing.
Yeah, sometimes it is, and I figured why not on the podcast.
Okay, you're gonna be up all night then, right?
Not all night, just a little bit.
Oh man, I can't drink coffee after 4 p.m. because if I drink coffee after 4 p.m., if it's caffeinated, then
yeah.
I'm up until 2, and it makes me so mad.
Yeah, it does that. It's probably a better way to live a life. Not drinking it that late, but
yeah. All right. So, yeah, I guess we should just start out with the intro, like what the whole new thing is, what this new stream, this new podcast is all about, what we are about, who we are, like if people don't even know us, right? People know you, Riley. Everyone knows about you.
A select few.
Ooh, a select few, like VIPs or whatever, right?
Yes.
All right. So, who are you? So, my name's Nelson. I'm a customer success specialist over at Webflow, and I love geeking out about Webflow, and I've been geeking out about it since 2015, and I'm not going to stop. No. 2013. I'm sorry. Forgot those 2 other years. Yeah, I'm not going to stop. And it's just a fun thing, and yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself, Riley.
All right. I'm Riley. I'm a graphic and web designer. I work at a small school in St. Louis, and I've been using Webflow for, 2015 is when I discovered it.
Yeah.
And I've been using it ever since, and I've been trying to use it more whenever opportunities come up that could potentially be a use case for it. And yeah, I've always been following it as much as I can, hyping it up. Always excited for kind of what it's bringing to the table when it comes to just the design tools for people wanting to make things.
Yeah.
And yeah, always excited for it. Even super excited for the future of it.
I'm always, whenever I meet another Webflow fan, I always ask, what's that aha moment? So you first saw Webflow, and probably you're like skeptical, but then you signed up, you played with it, and then, aha, this is the tool. What was that moment?
It was, I don't know how I discovered it. I don't know if it was through someone I followed on social media or just a random link on a design blog. Mm-hmm. But it was one of those things to where I kept seeing it, but I've always ignored it because I was just kind of like, oh, another design tool proclaiming this for these kinds of people.
Yeah.
And then there was one time I came across the tutorials, one of the earlier tutorials.
Yeah.
And started just to try it out to see okay, maybe this could be useful when it comes to just web design. Mm-hmm. And after the first tutorial, it was building a landing page or something like that.
Yeah.
That moment where I saw what I created, even if if it was something like super simple, but
Hmm.
to see how like to imagine how that could be replicated in a variety of scenarios with that amount of ease and control was amazing.
So was it the styles panel or something when you messed around with the margin or padding or something that you're like, whoa?
It was mainly the like the end product. Like you're using
Oh,
these elements forming these layouts, and then by the end of it, I realized like, wait a second, like that's what I just created is what the final end result was. There was no further action that needed to happen in
yeah.
order to kind of make that real. And
Oh, so, yeah.
so
So when you published it, it was like, whoa, right?
yeah, it was like there was no, it wasn't like you created it in Webflow, but then you had to do some other additional process to get that, to the web as like a live product.
Yeah.
And just that, like that smoothness and just,
You're
I don't
like,
know.
wait, you can't. I'm already done. That
Yeah, exactly.
no FTP. No, wait, it's already
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
I get you. I get you. I get you.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And then from then on, like just the further developments that came to the platform was just like, oh man, no way, no way.
Yeah.
How could this
Yeah.
can, get any more
Yeah.
powerful? And it
I
keeps
still
doing it.
feel the same way, and I work for the team, but still, whenever I see like little little gifs or something of what engineers are working on, they're like, here's what I'm working on, or I'm testing, it's still kind of broken, but here's something, and me and the rest of the team are like, oh, we got to put emojis, we got to put as many emojis as possible because this is just amazing, like what's coming up next for the next thing. And then you see a gif of it happening, you're like, I can't wait for the community to use this. And just like the community, it's like I can't wait to get my hands on it, and I can't wait to see what people do with it, and it's just nuts. And
Yeah.
speaking of community, hold on, I gotta being technical director and everything at the same time. I want to put the chat room actually on the stream, since it's just us, our two faces. I want to add them because it's
Oh,
like
nice.
it's
Yeah,
about
bring them
them
in.
too. So hold on, let me just copy something real quick. Now the camera's on me, so let me see if I can. Whoa, that's weird. A lot of things have moved. Let me see. Can I copy this? Copy and paste duplicate. Did that work? Wait, that's.
Potentially.
Hold on. No, that didn't work. Let's try it. Let me try it one more time. Thanks for bearing with me, everyone. Wait. Oh, live chat right there. Copy, paste. Aha! Got them.
Nice.
Yes. Now we can all chat together.
It's a party.
It is a party. It's a Webflow party. Ain't no party like a Webflow party. Because
No,
Webflow
and
party
on
never
that note
stops.
of being excited about features, I can't imagine what it's like to know all the exciting stuff behind the curtain
Oh,
and
yeah.
like be able to withhold that excitement because it's just not ready yet. I can't imagine.
Oh, well, I'm glad to work with people from the community because I can release that excitement with them. And it's just a feedback loop because it's like, oh my God, did you see this? Yeah, but did you see this? And it just keeps going back
Yeah.
and forth. And,
Yeah.
and then when it goes out to the community, then it happens all over again. We're like, oh, we get to celebrate again with
Yeah.
everyone. But oh man, we went on a tangent right there, but I love it. So if you haven't noticed yet, why are we doing this podcast? What this podcast is all about? It's all about Webflow. But my camera's backwards, so it says Wolf do, but it's actually Webflow. Yeah. Doug said in chat room, what does Wolf do? It's just Webflow backwards.
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, there's really no podcast dedicated to Webflow, and this is a project that I've wanted to do for years. I mean, over 3 years ago, I've had this idea like, oh, now that I work for Webflow, wouldn't it be cool to like, talk about it with the community in a podcast style or something? And at the time, and still right now, I have no expertise in podcasting, but I have a lot of expertise in geeking out about Webflow. So I'm gonna try it again.
That's all you
So
need.
here we are.
It's a good start.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why we're doing this podcast, just to celebrate Webflow, web design, and just life all around it. Yeah. So usually in podcasts, this is when you add a sponsor or something, right?
Yeah,
This,
usually.
this is like, so this episode one, we have no sponsor, so let's just make up one. Like, we are not So welcome to the Overflow podcast, episode one. This is not sponsored by Square Weaver.
The anti-sponsor.
Yeah, Square Weaver, where you can weave squares. Weaving squares. That's basically what you do
Oh
in web
wow,
design,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah,
You should claim that idea.
yeah. I should make a product around weaving squares.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
it could be an educational tool for web design, but you're bringing in weaving like stuff.
Okay, I don't know where we're going with this one,
It'll
but
work. It'll work. Give it 10 years.
okay. All right. I'm not a product designer of any sort, but okay. I'll try to find someone. Yeah. So again, I'm Nelson. That's Riley, and we're gonna try to do this podcast as often as possible. We're test driving right now and seeing if it works. If you guys like it, let us know in the comments or in the live chat.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of people in live chat room already. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, super
Mm,
appreciative.
yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, we have like a whole agenda of things to talk about. We talked about yesterday, but not only do we want to talk about web design, but also like life in general, because life is important. And yeah, so what's happening in your life right now? See what I did there?
Oh, nice transition. Life RN for me. Life is moving pretty quickly for me currently,
Huh?
mainly because my wife is pregnant. So
Nice.
not only is life speeding up, it's about to dramatically change in the next 3 months.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. But like all that and with holiday season, everything's just a blur because traveling back and forth and just trying to get through normal weeks of life, everything just seems to go by so quickly.
So
So,
are your parents in town, or do your parents live in the same city, or both side of parents live in different cities? Or?
so my family and my wife's family are in Tennessee. We're
Mm-hmm.
living in St. Louis currently.
Oh, okay.
So we're not near them, but we drive down there uh, for holidays. It's a long drive, but
Oof.
yeah,
It's
a
gonna
lot
be
of
harder with the
driving.
baby.
Oh yeah, yeah. Fortunately, we have to take our dog with us on trips,
Mm-hmm.
and our dog doesn't isn't like a great dog to drive with.
Oh,
So I
so
feel like we've
training.
yeah, we've like prepped for not very pleasant car rides.
All right, all right, all right. I
But
know. I know there's a couple of parents in the live chat right now. I know Chris Cannon is a parent, and he probably knows a thing or two about traveling with kids.
oh yeah,
So
Chris, what's up?
Chris is here. Yeah, yeah.
What about you, Nelson? How's life for
Um,
you currently?
yeah. Yeah. Being a dad, trying to learn how to be a dad. Nova is 21 months, gonna be 22 soon. So it's like still waiting for her to talk. She's saying like syllable like ba and tss and all these other noises, and she's learning how to take things off the shelf and throw them around and throw her bottle and splatters everywhere. So regular kid stuff, exploring. So I'm dealing with not really dealing with that, but learning
There you
learning
go.
how to be a dad. So it's really interesting, really interesting. And to everyone who's about to be a parent, you're never ready. There's no such thing as ready. You may think you're ready, but no, my gosh, you're not. So
So I have a tangent we can go down that
Yeah.
might be interesting.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about this, and I've talked to some other people in this realm of parenthood and like try also like a pursuing like a creative lifestyle.
Mm.
And I would like you and your wife do creative things for a living, right? Would you say
Right
that?
now, Jessica's more the creative one, and I'm just more of a developer type.
I would
Yeah.
okay. I would say that still categorizes as creativity.
Okay. Okay.
Um, how has that been challenging when it comes to having like a kid within this world of like creative careers?
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Like
It's
trying to pursue a lot of
it,
things.
yeah. It's tough. Um. Yeah. For my wife, it's tough because she runs her own boutique agency with her business
Yeah.
partner, right? And seeing, well, for me, I have a regular 9 to 5. Okay, a regular day job with Webflow, and I have set hours. So I turn it on at 9, and then at 6 I turn it off. But for freelancers, um, and business owners, especially for moms, I totally feel for them. I don't understand, but I feel for them because what I've seen my wife have to go through is that dealing with clients, there's not really a 9 to 6. It's it could be on a weekend or a weeknight. The client could be in. We've worked with a client in South Korea, and we had to
Okay.
stay up until one
Oh
or two
wow.
a.m.
Yeah.
Um, and so we have to put the Nova to sleep first and then work, and so it's tough, especially for working moms. Working moms who are designers that are doing that hustle because your baby needs you. And the sad thing is like since she owns her own business, she really didn't know about the whole maternity leave stuff where she
Yeah.
would have to pay extra taxes beforehand in
Okay.
order to
Yeah.
get like 3 months or something, because 3 months of unemployment pay,
Mm-hmm.
but she didn't get that.
Oh
She
wow.
went back to work 4 days after, 3 or 4 days after birth,
Whoa.
and it was tough. It was
Yeah.
tough, you know, and just this, I know we're going on a tangent and it has nothing to do with Webflow, but I mean, it's just like one of those things where, in America, there's no, you don't get a year off like Canada or something.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about this for a long time, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just one of those things that one of those things I wish that would change. And um, during during the first 3 months of Nova's life, I didn't know that paternity leave, for fathers to take
Right.
leave off work. I didn't know that was not a thing. Um,
Yeah.
and thankfully, Webflow, gives us a parental leave off. It doesn't matter if you're a mom or
Cool.
a dad. And so, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
that's really awesome.
Hmm.
But yeah, sorry I went really far, but yeah,
That's okay.
it's hard
I
to be
opened
a
it up.
creative. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard, and I have so much respect for those who, want to grow a family, and at the same time hustle in their freelance or agency life or whatever. It's
Yeah.
yeah, not trying to scare you, but
No, I think it's really interesting because see people in those situations, um, doing it to some sort of like success, and
yeah,
it seems like an interesting challenge that you kind of have to work with if you kind of want to continue that type of stuff.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it and its situation is different for everyone. So
Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
yeah. Yeah, but besides dad life, I finally launched my redesign site that I streamed for like
Yeah.
5 episodes, and finally it's done.
How do you feel about it?
As any other creative would feel about it, it sucks. When you look at your own work and you launch it, you're like, it sucks.
Yeah.
But you
Well,
just
okay. So this you redesigned it, right? Or is this completely new?
it's completely new.
Okay.
I mean, it's redesigned and it's new. Wait, what?
Right. Like you had a personal site
Yeah,
before you
yeah.
did this new one.
hmm
Okay.
hmm
Do you think it's improved where it is now?
I think it's improved. The um one because my wife actually did the branding. She did the colors and the
Oh yeah,
logo
yeah.
and
Yeah.
the typeface. She chose it for me and everything.
Cool.
And I even did some branding exercises with her. So that's an
Nice.
improvement. She did the headshot
Yeah.
for me, so that's an improvement. Because in the past I tried to do everything on my own, and I realized I suck as a designer.
Mm,
It's like I try and try, but graph and I always say this: graphic designers are the best web designers. If it wasn't
mm,
for Jessica to help me with the branding strategy or whatever, I would be like, it sucks even more. So it's an
mm.
improvement, definite improvement. And plus, I got to use grid. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. That's good. I think usually when I, because it's hard to critique your own work without like being neither like negatively biased or positively biased,
hmm
to where I feel like the the signs you can, or like the evidence you can seek, is if there has been an improvement from the previous creation that you did, then that can be a sign of like it might actually be good in some ways.
Yeah, yeah. Have you launched anything new, or are you working on anything new?
Um, I personal sites, no. It's kind of been like roasting in my head as far
Mm-hmm.
as creating a new one, because I feel like the one I currently have is a bit outdated as far as how I'm representing myself and just kind of the language and just overall representation. I think it's not as accurate as it is today, just because I feel like I've kind of grown a lot when it comes to how I approach doing design.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been thinking a lot of how that might change, and it's still a lot of thought. I'm even like thinking like, because right now my site is just like my name,
Mm-hmm.
and played with the thought of maybe coming up with like more of like a brand name rather than just like my own name,
Hmm.
to just that's to be kind of to do something new and fun.
Have you worked
Um,
on brands before, like making a brand, or for clients?
I yeah, I've done yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
So not a like a foreign process, but it's just the question of like, do I want to come across as like the one person studio under this like name, or more of that personal like individual
Hmm.
recognizable name? Um,
Yeah.
I keep
Yeah.
going
I
back and
mean,
forth.
either way is you know either way is good. I mean,
Yeah, it's one of
uh,
those things like
yeah,
wha- either direction will be fine, but
yeah,
I go back and forth. So
yeah,
that's definitely the works, and I hope to kind of get closer as far as turning something out. Uh,
yeah.
but recently, I don't know if you want to share this,
What?
but I made it that site today, the
Which?
counters.
Oh yeah. Oh wait. Is there a chat room on this thing, or here? Open chat? What happens? Oh, okay, cool.
Speaking of
Okay,
recently
go ahead and can
creating,
you type in the link or something?
yeah, let me find it.
Hold on. Word
Did you look at it earlier?
5. Okay. Yeah. It was a counter, right?
Yeah,
Hold on.
I'll just paste
Oops.
it in here. Okay.
Okay. Do you see the chat room?
Yeah, yeah, I
Oh,
posted it
okay.
in the.
Oh, the YouTube chat room. Okay, that's cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
So you built this for. Hold on. I need to get another browser window open. Hold on. I guess I need to do it on my other screen. Uh, doing it live.
Doing it
All right.
live.
Screw this. I'm gonna. Hold on, please. We'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do this. There we go. And I'll just do it on this screen right here. Cool. So, if you're just listening, this is a DJA. This is serious business. It's a website, web page that Riley made. It just says, "This is serious business. It's a cultural delicacy to experience a Vlad joke in the wild. Us at the DJA, Dad Joke Association, are tracking these instances for your research, and we need your help. Click to keep track." Okay, so explain to me how we would use this.
Okay, so in recent streams, you've mentioned I guess, next week's stream where you're talking to Vlad,
Yeah.
and you've talked about his dad jokes and how, I guess, the last time we talked about him, either you or someone else counted how many dad
18. 18
18.
last quarter. Yeah.
It's and so I was thinking, what if there was, like, some kind of counter that could be shown or used while, like, the interview's going on to where whenever he makes a joke, the counter kinda just tallies
So
up, you know?
so should I reveal to him that I'm using this, or should it be like at the end of the stream be
I
like
I
but I
think
would be cutting back and forth without him knowing.
yeah, I think it should be I mean, unless he watches this,
I don't think
it's
he's
not
going to watch this.
okay. Then it should be a surprise because I feel like if he knows, then it's gonna be, like, not as
Unless
can
someone in the chat is going to tweet it at him, please don't. Let's make it
yeah,
our
yeah,
own little secret. Everyone in the chat room, let's make it our secret, okay? All right. So
yes.
I'm gonna use the Vlad joke counter during the next live Q&A stream with Vlad. Um, Thank you, Riley, for building it. So I'm not gonna show him that, but during the stream, he won't know I'm doing it, and I'm gonna
Perfect.
reveal it at the end with the official count. And so, yeah, I think that would be funny. So everyone in chat room, don't say anything.
Yes, don't. It's a secret.
Yeah.
Keep it
Oh, I should lock this room. There we go. Yeah. So tell me a little about this. A little bit about this. How is there like custom code or something? Like,
Yeah, there's, a very tiny bit of custom code.
oh, I see it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
it's just a
basically
simple counter.
right, it's basically just counting up and adding.
Okay, so
Um,
it's not saving into a collection or whatever. It's just like
so
it's just
that would be
so
phase 2 of the project.
got him,
Yeah. Um,
and then refresh just goes away. Okay.
yeah, yeah, it's super simple, and I
Yeah.
was, like, thinking, like, someone could take it and make, like, a leaderboard out of it or something. Or, like,
Well,
I
we
don't
might need this for work because there's many dad jokes that goes on inside the Webflow Slack. But it's nice. And um shoot, should we just go straight into that other? Yeah, let's go straight into, since you brought it up, let's go straight into the other topic of what's up with Vlad's Twitter game.
mm,
You know,
it's been he's been upping the game.
yeah, yeah. If you haven't subscribed to or follow Vlad on Twitter, do so. Call me Vlad is his Twitter handle. You need a, yeah. Let me post. Oops, wrong link. Let me post the link in the chat room. But this is the one I'm looking at right now. The one um when you spell Webflow right or wrong. Yeah.
You're saying, like, this is a real thing that's, like,
Yes.
happened with most of you guys.
So I make. I feel like everyone in the Webflow Slack channel types Webflow correctly. And the first two are right. You know, you can, if you all lowercase or one uppercase with the W. I rarely see someone leaving the F capital, but and this part is real. Someone capitalizing the W and F in Webflow. I see this happen all the time in our support tickets whenever a salesperson is asking things like, "Can I fully white label this and put it and deploy it in my own um, environment or something like that?"
Wow.
You know, yeah, and it's always a salesperson who writes Webflow with a capital W and an F, and, and it's funny because right after he tweeted that, like an hour later, I get that spelling,
No.
and I'm like, "You're right, Vlad," and I like DM'd him. I was like, "You're so right," and he's like, "See, I told you."
Man.
Oh man, and then you got Weeblow, yeah. So I mean, I think
Another product?
no, I
Oh,
we
I'm thinking something different.
and then Webflow, you're not even trying, and then WF, you're my co-founder. So yeah, all of that's true.
Oh, it's so good. I feel like there should be like a little pocketbook with like these, like the best of Vlad's tweets.
That would be, man. If I, oh, that's a great idea. That would have been like the best Christmas gift or something, to the
Yeah,
whole Webflow team or Webflow fans.
yeah. Or like
Oh,
instead of like you know how there's the like the YouTube rewind video?
yeah, yeah.
It'd be like a Vlad tweet rewind or something with a lot more clever name, but same idea.
Yeah. Let me pull up another Vlad tweet right here. Ah, okay. Oh, I have to copy and paste in the chat, don't I? Chris, the way he spelled it. How dare you?
Oh man, that's
With
brutal.
big W, big F, and L and O.
That's wacky.
Some people call it the web flow. Ugh, ugh. Stop it.
Oh, it's not fun. The web, that's not fun to say.
Yeah. All right. So HTML hack together meh layouts. Like he's all about lists now, man.
Yeah, he's killing it with the lists.
Center something sadly. Janky scribble, safe site, laddie. Okay, that one's kind of a stretch. SSL
Bit of a stretch.
with undercover Russian link.
That one's good. That one's clever. Original.
Oh my god. Very private and naughty. Dorky numbering scheme. Hip TED Talk prefix. And he always ends it with Webflow in some way, and it's like so amazing.
Yeah, I wonder how long it takes for one of these to be created.
Is he like is he like workshopping them with his brother Sergi or something, or the marketing
Yeah.
team? Can you imagine like a 30-minute meeting about a bunch of different tweets?
Yeah, yeah. They
Maybe that's how he
prototype
does
tweet.
it. And he still prototypes all those tweets in Webflow, makes a collection or something.
Yeah, yes. Oh man. Instead of a book, it can just be a CMS of an archive of tweets.
There you go. There you go. All right, let's see. Two more Vlad tweets. Here we go. And then we'll move on. Habits that lead to happiness. Yeah. Like, and it's inspirational too.
Yeah, and full of wisdom. This one was actually like
Yeah.
very, very sages.
But this is how he actually is. It's crazy. This is how he actually is. He he's he's easy to talk to. He listens to you, but he still adds a joke at the end to make you super happy. Like this one,
Yeah.
it's like at the end, formatting tweets as big triangles. It's like, how do you, like,
Oh, yeah. I saw that. I was like, oh man.
how do you even? It's amazing.
That was great.
Yeah. So okay, last one on Vlad's Twitter game. And again, don't tell Vlad about the the joke counter. That'll be between all of us.
Yes, super secret.
Okay.
Oh,
Even though it's
this one,
public on the
yeah, that's true. I feel
yeah.
like this one right here
Yeah.
is whenever it was. I think it came out this week or
Mm-hmm.
last week. It was
December
like
9th. Yeah.
okay, it's like the string of tweets that came before. I feel like this was the pinnacle of
Yeah. You want to
that
read it
string.
out for the listeners?
Yeah. So take an abstract idea that you envision being a product. Now sketch out a draft and get an illustrator to craft it into something more polished. In principle, it should no longer be a figment of your imagination, and you can marvel at your creation. Then jump into Webflow.
XD.
Yeah.
How? How? I feel like it just started like a month ago where
Oh,
these
yeah,
tweets are just getting like so fire.
it's definitely, and I'm wondering, like, with each one, I'm always like, can he top his previous tweet? Like, I
And he
feel like the
can.
bar keeps getting raised as far as the quality of these.
And they're all original.
Yeah, yeah,
Like original content on the internet is hard to come by.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
These are definitely a gem.
Yeah. So cool. If you ever have a chance to hang out with Vlad or something, or even, I mean, go to San Francisco. If you're in San Francisco or if you're traveling there, you can visit the Webflow office, and if Vlad's there, you can say hi and just chat with him. He is that nice. He's that open. He's not inaccessible. You know. So
Accessible.
yeah. Have you ever been to office, or have
I,
you? Ah.
I was there very briefly in the summer because I was riding up with Vlad and a couple of people to the Epicurrents
Oh yeah.
up in Yosemite. And so we met at the office. So I got to take a peek at what was inside. Super cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. And so you've probably met Vlad there, and did
Yeah.
you, did you meet anyone else at the office?
I Sergi was there.
Oh, nice.
It was a Friday, so there wasn't very many people there. I met someone else. Who was it that was hanging around? Was it Bryant? I don't think it was Bryant. Maybe it was.
Then you met
I don't
all three
remember.
co-founders.
I know. I
Congrats.
don't remember. I want to say it was him, but I don't know for sure.
Mhm.
It was like
Yeah.
it was pretty quick. I was there for like maybe 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you can go again. Chris Cannon in the live chat room said he's going next week. Can't wait to
Nice. I'm jealous.
let us know how it goes, Chris. Let us know how it goes. Yeah.
See if you can catch a wild Vlad joke.
Yes. Or 2 or 10.
Yeah, yeah. Take the counter with you
Yeah.
on your phone.
Yeah, bring it on your phone. It's mobile responsive, right?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
definitely.
Yeah. True Pixel saying y'all thirsty for Vlad. He's just a super nice guy. Just saying. And these tweets are like, again, original. You know.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
All right. Moving on from Vlad. Another thing I wanted to talk about is I just saw this on my Twitter stream, and I'm like, okay, I haven't touched WordPress in a very long time, and then they came out with 5.0. So let me show the trailer that they, or the commercial that they put out to the chat. Interesting.
Yeah, newness.
So, as a web designer, I got to keep my eyes on all things web design, even if it's a competitor or it's like some new tool out there, right? But, obviously, I'm never going to touch WordPress. But I asked you before the stream, have you tried WordPress 5.0 or seen it used, or like, what are your thoughts on it and how good is it?
Yeah. So they're calling this version of WordPress Gutenberg.
Okay.
And so the reason why, and like I wouldn't call myself like a professional WordPress developer. Um, but I use WordPress enough to where I feel like I have a decent grasp on kind of what's going on with this new version.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, the big change that this version is bringing is to the editor. So if you're on a WordPress site on the back end, like the admin, and you're like creating a page, normally it's kind of like a box where you can kind of throw just text and images in.
Mm-hmm.
And for such a long time that that's kind of become a clunky process because people kind of want to create a bit more dynamic layouts, and that's kind of been achieved with just other types of plugins that allow you to do that. But
Yeah.
there wasn't a solution natively for you to kind of create more interesting layouts without making
Yeah.
things weird.
Yeah.
And so with this new version, they've kind of redesigned the editor on the client side, and the biggest piece of that are they're calling them blocks, which are
Yeah.
basically just componentized elements for text, images, columns, um, some other like basic just content layout
For
pieces you would
the
need.
for the client, the content
Yeah,
editor. It's sounding like a Squarespace thing, because like that
right.
you can do that, right? In
Right. So now
Squarespace.
if you kind of like Squarespace, I would say I haven't used Squarespace that much, so I can't really compare.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like if you go to wordpress.org/Gutenberg,
Mm-hmm.
it's a pretty accurate representation of kind of what the experience is like. Um, to where basically you can add like add these blocks on top of each other rather
Hold
than
on, pulling
all
it up
these
right now.
elements. Yeah.
Okay, so this is live. This is a real
Right.
version of it. Oh wait,
Yeah.
no.
So this is what it would look like relatively on the
Oh,
client
okay.
side to where normally all this stuff would just be in one box, and it would be kind of difficult to rearrange them in certain ways.
Oh, that's interesting.
But now you can kind of stack these elements individually and kind of create a bit more of,
Oh,
or you just have a bit more control of how these things are laid out within a page. So there's like a plus symbol on the top left corner,
yeah, I see it.
and that's
Uh
where all those
huh.
blocks are. And what's interesting is now people can take that and create their own blocks for even more like interesting types of layouts. So it's kind of opening up different opportunities to kind of craft these components that clients can use rather than kind of a bit more dramatic solution to achieve that like you've had to do in the past.
Am I supposed to drag and drop, or no? I only single
Yeah,
click and okay, so it's
right,
not drag and drop. It's single click and then you can drag and drop with the dots.
right.
But you still can't. Oh, you can make it wider, but I'm so interested. Okay, your thoughts on this before I go off on this.
Yeah. So I w- I think it's a step in the right direction as far as how they're thinking of how to kind of modernize. their platform when it comes to just how the client creates content. Um, there's a whole lot in how this was developed that I don't understand well, that a lot of other people in the WordPress community are upset about. Like some would say like this whole new version was pretty rushed and a lot of the developments weren't as well done as they should have been. But I just don't know enough to kind of speak on that part. But as far as the concept and kind of where this pushes how the WordPress experience is, I think it's a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can. Yeah, it's a good step in the right direction. When it comes to general web design, not even though everything I say is biased because I work for Webflow. Um, but as far as general web design, there's people who have been their website has been with WordPress for years and years and years and years that you can't migrate off of it. There's too much legacy code, legacy dependencies, and so it can't move. And this is a couple of my wife's clients had to go through this. They couldn't move. They wanted to use
Mhm.
Webflow, but they couldn't move out of
Yeah,
WordPress. Totally understandable. So this being a step in the right direction, yeah, it's good. I totally agree. For the general web design community, stuff like this is good. Giving more power, easier access for the content editors to do what they want to do, which is create their own layouts for articles and whatnot.
right.
Now, my thing though is it too much power? Because they can put anything anywhere and lay out anything anywhere, and then you're giving people like who don't understand the power of type hierarchy, the power of layout design. It's too powerful, and they can make a site look janky, like um very bad, a bad layout, bad look.
Yeah, and I think that's I'm not sure. So here's what I want to say about that. I think when it comes to the the concern about the client messing the design up,
Mm-hmm.
I think if a designer designs or develops um a solid enough like web WordPress theme, then I don't think the client is going to ruin that, because I feel like the client's just going to be focused on updating content and not creating new specific layouts. They're going to be using what they
Mm-hmm.
needed and what kind of that theme is solving for. And if
Mm-hmm.
the theme's built enough, especially with as far as kind of like you were saying with the style, then I think whatever the client does when it comes to adding content, it should uh,
Hmm.
compensate for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so putting the barriers as much as possible when you're designing the WordPress template, is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Yeah,
Yeah. And I
I get
think
it.
as long as kind of it holds up to the expectation of like a content focused of a client being able to add a variety of just simple blocks of content,
Mm-hmm.
I think that experience won't be compromised.
Yeah, I can see that. One thing I did like, and I was looking through it, and I was like, ooh, is how when you hover over one of your reusable blocks that you've created, it gives you a preview of what that block looks like.
Yeah, yeah, that's also super nice.
That's one of the things uh I wish Webflow had as far as styles go. When you set a style or a class, and in the styles manager, if you hover over your styles, you get like a preview of whatever that
Yeah,
style is, you know,
yeah, that'd be
or at least show a code, like a CSS code modal that shows like what you've did with that style. I don't know, something to
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's interesting, and I think all in all, it's like this is still very early
Hmm.
of a new phase that I think like like this is like phase one, and they're definitely planning on expanding this to other parts of like the WordPress um, setup,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
also interesting because then it kind of just it's basically translating that philosophy of just a bit more a simplified experience for the client, but to other parts of
Yeah.
the WordPress admin. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see where it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really interested in if it makes life easier for clients, then yeah, who am I to judge, right? But compared to the Webflow CMS, I feel like um, yeah, the the ease of simplicity when it comes to the database, at least for a designer,
Yes.
is is still nuts because in WordPress you're still typing PHP to go to my to pull up data from my PHP admin, and you have to customize the heck out of that, and that all takes code. It takes code upon code,
Yeah, it's true.
and to make those actual barriers that you're talking about for the template, to make sure that the content editors don't mess up anything now that they have even more power, it's like you need to know even more code to make
Yeah,
sure that you set those barriers.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, True Pixel says, do either of you know if Webflow is going to integrate some of the stuff from Gutenberg, i.e., dragging for scale and positioning? Um,
I feel like there are some experiences like that. Like, let's say if you're in Webflow, you have the image element, you can scale that
yeah.
by just dragging.
Let me see if I
Um,
can pull it up right now. But go
if
ahead, keep
that's
going.
what if that's what they're referring to, like something like that, where you can on canvas like drag to edit rather than inputting values to change.
All right, I have it on screen right now. On screen. All right. So yeah, this image right here, and what Riley's talking about is this corner. And so yeah, but that's not for CSS width and height. That's just for the one right here, the image setting. If you were to use the HTML attribute of width, that's what it's manipulating, not CSS,
Yeah.
and it does it by the pixel. So that's what you can do. As far as positioning goes, um, you can already do that, but not on the client side. But you can already do that by like dragging stuff up like that in the navigator, or even you know, or even on the canvas. So it's like the same thing.
Yeah, it's I mean, they're in a way they're different tools s- solving similar problems, but I would say also solving maybe different problems for different people depending on kind of the needs.
Huh. Yeah. I think it's similar. I mean, it's building websites. I mean, when
Right, right.
yeah.
I think I guess what I'm in my mind some instances as far as with a client needing a site
Mm-hmm.
and not looking to hire anyone to build them out a site,
Mm-hmm.
but wanting some form of customization. I feel like like a WordPress solution allows that, whereas the Webflow, unless they're familiar with the designer part, the
Mm-hmm.
customization can be tricky.
Hmm. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I still feel like they're we're both doing the same thing, just in two different ways.
Right,
Huh.
right, right. I guess I wouldn't. I guess I kind of I should have phrased it differently. They're not that much different, but I do think um, kind of who they're targeting as far as who Webflow targets and who WordPress targets,
Yeah.
that can be a bit different.
Yeah, yeah. That's way different.
Yeah,
WordPress is more
marketing.
developer, and Webflow is more designer. You know,
Yeah,
and actually, WordPress wrote a blog about Webflow.
that's
Uh,
true. That's true.
I don't know if anyone saw this, but I saw this on my Twitter feed, and yeah, let me post it on the chat. Yeah. So written by Mel Choice, benchmarking Webflow back in November 30th, and we'll just go straight to the pros and cons. So this person actually tried Webflow and wrote up the pros and cons about it, and yeah, I guess they were taking some inspiration from us because it says seems like a good tool for us to look at for phase 2 of Gutenberg. So
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's pretty cool that someone used our tool.
yeah, it is
Um,
super cool.
yeah, it's. Have you taken a? Did you read this article yet?
Yeah, I did. I read it. You shared it with me, and I thought it was interesting. Like I always think it's cool to see a perspective like this from another kind of big platform.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, or I'm assuming Mail is pretty involved in the WordPress community. Uh,
Yeah.
so it's always interesting to see a perspective like this because, or at least I feel like I don't see this perspective a lot when it comes to someone very invested in another type of tool, trying out this other very powerful tool and kind of giving significant insights about it. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Mel is actually a product designer working at Automatic, and Automatic
Okay.
is the
So
one
yeah,
who, yeah,
he's pretty deep in the WordPress system.
pretty, pretty deep. Yeah, he actually works with them. So, um, you
I think
know,
it's cool. And I also think it's cool that he didn't end the article being like, this is what I liked, this is what I didn't like. Um, I like how he ended with what they could like learn from this. I thought that was
yes.
interesting.
I mean, yeah, and that's how, that's how competitors should be in my opinion. I mean, we're all trying to make the web better, right? And so uh same thing that we're saying on this podcast. It's like, okay, what can we learn from Gutenberg, and
Right.
what can they learn from us? And it's like, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Um what is it? Uh but some of the cons, there was this one con that I was like, is it really a con?
Which,
Um let's see here. Let's see. One of the cons is I'm bad at in-browser design, and this felt like a step beyond that. What?
hmm,
I was confused, and so a
what
step
is it?
which I expected to bridge that gap, but instead just made that gap wider. I was trying to think visually, and I was trying to think about writing CSS, but without actually writing the CSS, I couldn't visualize it. If you aren't already a front end developer, you're stuck, which that's fine. That's who
Yeah,
this tool is
I,
aimed at.
I think that's what that's his point. In this kind of language, that's what he's really trying to say.
Oh, that it's not meant for developers, or
No, I think he's saying like if you're not familiar with kind of the front end languages, you're stuck.
oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense now. Yeah, that is one of those things that a lot of graphic designers have trouble with Webflow, and that's why
Yeah.
we put out as much video tutorials in the university as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. And very like helpful ones too.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, cool, cool. Man, it's already been an hour.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Time.
nice. Time flew. All right. Well, yeah. Let's start wrapping up this first, or like call it pilot episode.
There we go. Pilot season 1.
Yes. Yes. Ended off with announcements. So yeah, next Tuesday, joke counter. Don't tell Vlad, but Vlad's live Q&A. Bring your questions for Vlad and youtube.com/webflow. Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Riley, you're gonna be so happy when I pull up that webpage, huh? During the stream.
Yes. I'm
Oh
gonna be
man.
waiting for it.
Okay. I promise. I
No
promise to
pressure.
use it.
If you decide not to, that's fine too.
No, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it. I mean, it'll help me count, right? So I don't have to just keep it in
Yeah.
my head.
Just don't refresh the page.
Yeah. um. Oh, and also Webflow has a bunch of meetups now. Topic. There we go. Webflow has a bunch of meetups. If there's one near you, whoa, Google Maps cannot load. Is Google
Oh,
Maps down? That's
that's
weird.
odd. They need to fix that JavaScript.
Here's another link. Yeah. So 24 meetups, 23 cities. Wait, how can it be 24 meetups in 23 cities? There's 2 in one city. What?
Yeah, it's probably 2 in one city.
Where?
Um,
What? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
That's yeah. Meetup
Don't-
is kind of not counting it correctly, but yeah. So join one if it's near you. If not, I'd love to start one in your area. Just hit me up if you're interested in being a meetup organizer.
It's
Yeah,
worth it.
yeah. Oh, you're a meetup organizer too in St. Louis with Micah and Waldo.
Yeah, I would call myself a, I don't know, assistant to the co-organizer.
Existing to the regional manager.
Yeah. I uh I help out, but they do. Micah and them Waldo do the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
I don't want to take their credit.
Well, thank you for assisting.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. But yeah, that's that's about it. Oh, can you post the link in the chat room for
Yeah,
topics requests? So yeah, can you tell people about this part?
right. So I'm gonna post this form in the live chat for suggestions for future podcast topics. And it can range from Webflow interests, web design interests, anything that you all in the community would think would be interesting for Nelson and I to chat about. And once I find the form, here it is. Just a simple form. And it's also helpful just to kind of have a pool of ideas, especially from just like the community. So we can kind of talk about stuff that everyone will find interesting. Um, instead of just very specific things Nelson and I find interesting, which is fun
Mm-hmm.
for both of us, but it should be fun for everyone when it comes to kind of what we talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. Give us ideas. We want to know what's on the top of your mind that you want us to talk about. And yeah, I think that's about it. What do you think about this first pilot episode, Riley? What'd you think?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I'm like I'm surprised it's past 11. It doesn't seem that long.
Yeah, that was fast. And everyone in the live chat room, hope you guys liked it.
Yeah, thanks for
Um,
coming and hanging out.
we don't really have a sign off, and I don't want to use my my tag. What's your tag? If you had a
Oh, man.
tagline.
On the spot.
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm trying not to copy you.
No.
Let me improvise. Go out there and do your thing.
Enjoy life right now.
There we go. Do your thing, Life RN.
All right. We'll try to do this podcast again next year because it's the holidays and we want to spend time with our families and whatnot. But if you enjoyed it, please tell friends about it. Don't tell Vlad about it yet. But yeah, let's keep it between us. So yeah, give us your honest thoughts about this in the chat room. We want to know how we did. We want to know how we can improve, and we just want to geek out about Webflow with you all. Thank you all so much. And life right now is nice. I don't know what to say. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Riley. Thank you for doing this. You're awesome.
Thank you. This is fun.
All right. See ya.
Bye.